Now, you're probably wondering, why am I making this thumbnail like this? This is a video response to my boy Future Boy Who's video on what we could have gotten yesterday for the Mortal Kombat 30th anniversary. And even though we barely have any announcements, they did, however, announce that there's gonna be another Mortal Kombat Legends movie, and it's going to be featuring Johnny Cage, making it all about the Cage Fighter. So it's going to be Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match. I was like, okay, that's basically a nice announcement, but I feel like we could have gotten an announcement of an upcoming game, movie, or whatever. But an animated film, feel like it could have been, you know, epic, but it is what it is. And so not only that, he also brought up some interesting facts about the 30th anniversary collection for Mortal Kombat, much like how Street Fighter did it. Have all the 2D games and the 3D games, and basically have all the character bios of how they came about into where they are now, from the animations to the concept art, you name it. It's basically everything that we could have gotten yesterday, but it's unfortunate that we didn't get all of that. So this is my idea for the 30th anniversary of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 30th anniversary collection. Just like this, and the possible Mortal Kombat being just like the Street Fighter 30th anniversary collection. But to me, you see all of the versions under the same name, right? From Sega Genesis to Game Boy. Now, the Sega Genesis version could also use a little retweak. Throw in some basic attacks, special moves, and combos for a 2D fighter. Just change some things about it, then you'll be on your way. The Super Nintendo version can use some changes as well. Keep the soundtrack, but you can make the Green Ranger soundtrack. Just use the Super Nintendo engine to make it just like that, and you'll have your Green Ranger for the Super Nintendo version. Same with the movie versions, just like the original version as well. And this right here is for the soundtracks of the games. The second Game Gear and the Super Nintendo, I will probably have that into this menu right here. The Game Gear versions has some of the best soundtracks from season 1 to the movie as well. And so does Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo version has some good soundtracks as well. Let's not forget about that. From the beginning to end. Even the boss theme, even the main theme is really cool. Now, if the Game Gear can do the same thing with the soundtracks, personally, two of my favorite soundtracks are the Nasty Night and the Dragon Zord and the theme song. And those are the three things I love from the Game Gear version. Now, the movie version, however, can use some of the same thing with the soundtrack from the Super Nintendo and Game Gear. Now, the Game Gear version is so cool because it has soundtracks from the TV show, and so is the Sega Genesis as well. But the Super Nintendo version is on another level, as if in its own thing, instead of like being like the TV show minus the theme song. You could just do whatever you want with it. So those are just some of my ideas of what would happen if Hasbro were to announce something like this for the 30th anniversary as a whole. What's y'all thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'm gonna holler at you in my other video.